Yeah, it's interesting. As a gravel cyclist primarily, like I hadn't really thought too much about getting an Aero helmet myself because historically it felt like a trade-off that didn't have a lot of value to me as someone who's not racing at the pointy end of the race by any means. So when I started to read the specs of this helmet, it was pretty interesting to me because again, this may be naive, but in my mind, Aero helmet was aerodynamic but hot and didn't have a lot of ventilation. Traditional helmet had ventilation, maybe was less aerodynamic. But it sounds like what you guys are putting forth here is a no compromise solution, which is pretty exciting. So, can you talk about it? How do you achieve a helmet that has great ventilation as well as the aerodynamics that you just mentioned?
Yeah, right. So for those who are less familiar, on aerodynamics and cycling in general, right? The traditional trade-off is what I alluded to earlier, which is um, you have to punch holes, right, in your styrofoam in order to let all the heat out. But for aerodynamics, every time you punch a hole, you're creating this opportunity for turbulence, right? Air turbulence, and turbulence slows you down. Like literally, they call it air drag, right? It's because it's literally dragging you back as you try to slice through the wind. Um, so traditionally, aerodynamic helmets you'll look in the market, like they tend to be shaped like a bullet, and they tend to have as few vents as possible that they can kind of eke by, right? That thread of discomfort and speed. Um, with Cav, I mean, the first thing is uh, we we have an open cell structure by default, right? And so what this means, this is a helmet without the shell on it, and this is just to show that you don't have anything against your head. And so I've tested helmets like this where we do have the shell on it, but no formal ventilation. And what I call the passive cooling, right? The cooling of just having the helmet on your head without airflow coming in through the front is already exceptional because the heat can dissipate away from your head in a way that it can't in foam. And we've done tests here. Our structure is roughly 2 times faster, meaning like we've heated a head form, I think to 116 degrees, and it takes twice as long for a EPS foam helmet to cool down to 86 degrees than our helmet.